Figured I'd go live this morning to kind of address some things that happened. And quite frankly, I've been low before, but typically in the past, what I would do is I'd journal, um, I'd write, I'd create some content for the channel. And I just haven't been able to really get into that space. Um, Something real traumatic happened to me on Friday, and I do know that Mark just lost his dad, and he actually laid his dad to rest on Friday. Um, and I didn't even get a chance to really pay my respects because I was dealing with what I was dealing with. But on Friday, my my uncle Keith, who I've been living with the last, I think, 5 years or something like that. He been going through. He's probably one of the strongest dudes that I know. Um, he's been going to Dallas for the last 14 years, and you know we kind of created a plan to help him. Well, that's beside all the point. Um, my uncle was, I think my mom called it her rock, and for me, he was somebody I could depend on. He was somebody that if we needed anything, if the kids needed to be picked up, or if I needed to be picked up, or if I needed help with anything, everybody knew that if you needed help with anything, my Uncle Keith was the guy that you called. And even with all of the dialysis and all that stuff, like he still was somebody you could really, really depend on. So on Friday, he passed away. Um, it was a very, very traumatic thing for me because I was here, and it was during the middle of the day. It wasn't much longer after my live on Friday, and I don't know how to feel about things. Like I said, I've tried journaling. I I haven't gotten to it. I thought about doing content, and because these are things that I did when I got real low. So the only thing that I could really think of is the community helping me get through it. Because right now, like, I kind of don't know what else to do. Like, things are uh things are real crazy. Because it probably would be not so much this time of the day, but I think I knew his routine better than everybody. So there's still times that I hear his car start up. I hear him moving around. Um, yeah, it's nuts, and really, I just kind of want to thank Tuck. I want to thank Rome. I want to thank everybody. So many people that have reached out to me that I knew were real people, and they've reached out to me and showed a ton of love. You know, I've been on and off. I've been up and down. Um, for me, I saw things that nobody saw. I saw a lot of things that nobody saw. Um, I mean, it was really, really traumatic for me. Um, it wasn't even him being sick that caused everything. It was a freak accident, and I don't know if anybody has ever really been part of a freak accident where you got called 911 and all that stuff, but it was pretty much like that. Like, I don't want to get too much into detail, but it was probably the craziest thing. It was the worst day of my life. But I talked to Roman Tuck and said that this morning I'm going to offer everybody an explanation of what happened. What like we're in the middle of draft season, and it's like the devil's always working. The devil's always working during this time, and I know that Easter's coming up. What's up? What's going on, David and Dram? How y'all doing? So for those that are kind of getting on and coming on a little bit late, my uncle passed away on Friday. Tragic accident, and I'm still trying to process through it. Like I even said, I said on Twitter, like I'm probably not going to tweet for a while, but then I realized that like I gotta get it out somehow. The last time that I was really, really low on life, I made content and I got back to it. And for the first time in a while, it's like, damn, I don't even know how to do that. I don't know how to really get back to what was me. And I think part of that was, I think my uncle was part of that process. Now, don't get me wrong, he was a Commanders fan, so he used to talk a lot of junk in the house. And, every time he would see my shrine, my the thing y'all see in the background, like my YouTube wall, he would talk a little bit of trash, but outside of that, man, he was very very supportive of the channel. He was supportive of the fact that people like you would come in here and listen to me ramble or just talk Cowboys. The crazy thing about it is I'm the type that typically I don't like a whole bunch of people asking like what I need, what do you need from us, if anything. Y'all know the jargon because we probably all done it when somebody passes. Like what do you need? Like if there's anything you need, let me know. My condolences. My prayers to you and your family. Like typically, like those are the type of things. Like I just kind of brush off my shoulders. This time I've just been accepting it. But if there is anything people can do for me, really, is to really just be genuine. Like if you can't be genuine, or if you can't be a good person, or if you don't really care for me like that, then stay away from me. Like I don't really need fake. I really just want people that genuinely care, that y'all know what I mean. Like he was a great guy. He was a great guy. He was. So the thing about this, right? And I know my mom is probably gonna do the eulogy, so I guess this is my form of doing that. But my uncle was, if you guys see any, so he does have a contribution to his channel. If you guys see any like B rolls of movie scenes or anything like that, and I know that Okoye, it was my way of paying homage to. It's my way of paying homage to Okoye because Okoye was really the first to do it. So I started doing that. But if you guys see any movie clips or you guys hear anything that I say that like it's from a movie line or something like that, my uncle really put me on movies. He put me on movies like crazy since I was a little kid. Like I couldn't wait for Saturdays to come around and we would just go see what the newest Batman, or we would go see. He was really big in the comics. he was huge in the comics. He put me on the Star Wars, and a lot of it was superhero stuff, and I understand it because I was a kid. Um, my sister, I think everybody had their way of they had their relationship with my uncle. Everybody did, you know. Watched a lot of TV. Um, and I just kind of think about what happened, what transpired on Friday, and I had to think about it. It popped in my head because my son was wearing uh, this Avengers shirt. It had Captain America, it had somebody else. It had the Hulk, and then I forget who the characters were, but I asked my son. I was like, "Which one is your favorite?" And he said that it was Iron Man, but we knew that him and my uncle watched a whole bunch of so they watched a whole bunch of Godzilla. My youngest was his favorite. Everybody knows that. My youngest, his name is we call him JoJo. Um, growing up, everybody used to call me John John, but he was JoJo. He is JoJo. I don't know why. Yeah, so he's JoJo. And so when he said that, it made me think because I was just like, I thought it was the Hulk because him and my uncle they used to, they used to reenact the Hulk a whole bunch, right? And so he said it was Captain America. And I was like, dang, I didn't know that when this hadn't changed. But if y'all knew what happened on Friday, I think that not only was my uncle charismatic and that he had a way of really just having his own special relationship with everybody, but I think he helped me figure out what my superpower is. And I've been talking to my cousin Swerve. Um, I talked to my little bro Dev at No Limit Performance. You got go check my bro out. He's doing major things with training. Trains my son. He's family to me, and I think what my uncle helped me do was he helped me figure out what my superpower is. I think Rome and I think Tuck can tell y'all this. Just like my uncle, I am a protector. Mark Holmes will probably tell you this. I am a protector, guys. If I see somebody trying to harm anybody that I care about, I'll go 0 to 60 real quick. You can talk bad about me all you want. Um, for the most part, I can snap back real quick. I'm not afraid. I'm also quick with it. But if you harm anybody that I care about, I'm coming back for more than blood. I mean, that's just a fact. That is a fact. And so when my uncle called me, because he hadn't called me John John in a while, he hadn't called me that in a while. So when he called me, I went down. He asked me if we had anything, in the house that could help him. He was still trying to fix himself up. He wasn't, even though he needed the ambulance, he needed it. He was trying to fix himself up, so I called it. So I was there for the whole thing, and I can't get it out of my mind. I can't get the picture out of my mind. I can't get what happened out of my mind. Uh, Probably, at some point, I'm probably gonna need some professional help. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. you know, I wish that one of the things that I wish, and I know, but I know that my uncle left this to me because he was a protector. We hear so many stories about how he was a protector. And I think in that moment, he passed that on to me. And I'd already knew that about myself, but I think that, sometimes when family members, they pass, how they leave something behind. I think him calling me to help him in that moment and me being the only one that really saw everything and felt everything and lived everything and it still stays in my mind. I think that was my way of protecting everybody because thank thank God my kids didn't go down and see it. God that my wife didn't go see it. Thank God that my mom, because my mom was closest to him. Thank God that we didn't find him down there. One thing that I can hang my hat on is that I gave my opportunity. I gave him all I had, and that's the one thing that I can say. Um, but it still don't. It's still kind of empty in here. It's still real empty. Like, although I got me and my whole family are here, it's still really empty. We hate going down there. We hate going into his room that he built. He state of the art down there. New TV. What I'm saying, speakers everywhere. He set it up real nice, and it was just real. It was really traumatic. It's crazy because I just want to let y'all know this is why I figured the community could kind of help me get through this. One of the people that I was talking to on the phone, and hey, bro, I love you, bro, for real. Like, you got a real one for life. I promise you need anything. You hit me, but the person that called me, and I think it was right before I got the news. I don't know if it was right then, because I know I wasn't crying. I know what hadn't broken down. I think that there was still the opportunity. I think they were still working on him in the hospital. So, hey, Rome, you a real one, dog. He caught me without question. I told him. It might have happened, but I told Rome called me right away from work, and we were talking, and it helped me. And so I realized that the community can kind of help me get through it. I'm gonna try and do as much content as I can, and I know that everybody kind of needs a mental break at a certain point. But Rome, Tuck. It's actually funny too. Tuck had had a hand in this too. I appreciate you, Smooth Cat. Thank you, bro. Love you, bro. So when we were sitting around, Tuck had this old school playlist, right? This old school playlist that we were just playing music. It got a whole bunch of people in there, like Rick James. I think it was a whole bunch of artists that my mom, my uncles, my dad, all of them are baby boomers, and I always say like I got a tagline and it's hilarious, but y'all will probably agree, and some of y'all baby boomers will probably be mad when I say it, but y'all know it's true. Um, you can't tell baby boomers shit about nothing. They know everything. They've experienced everything. You can't tell them nothing. Right? But I will tell you, Tuck, your playlist had the family in here jamming, bro. So thank you for that as well. Like a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people every time something happens, right, which sucks, especially about black culture. I don't know if any other culture is like this. Y'all can let me know. I only know because I grew up black. The only time that people come together is when somebody dies, and it sucks, bro. It sucks like crazy. It's probably one of the worst things, but it's also a great thing because we've had the opportunity to have some great laughs. Had the opportunity to, I don't know. It's been off and on for me. I'm probably gonna go out there and start this truck up just because, just because I need to hear it. Thank you, Lee Command. Appreciate you, bro. My uncle was 1960. I think he was 64. He was 64 years old. But when I tell y'all, bro, my man been was going to dialysis 3 times a week for 14 years. At one point, he was working and still having dialysis and still able to go pick up my kids from school or pick if need be, whatever we needed. He was there for us. I think everybody in my neighborhood, I told the neighbor yesterday, and he thought it was somebody else. When he found out it was my Uncle Keith, he just bawled crying. And I'm the type that, like, because I am a protector, like, I feel for people. I am an empath too. So if you cry, I'm probably gonna cry. That's probably the only thing though. Like if you throw up, I ain't gonna throw up. Like if you are hot, I might be cold. Like, but yeah, it's been a lot, man. It's been a lot, and I just kind of wanted to get on here and share it with you guys. I'm gonna try. I'm going to try and be strong, like my uncle was. I'm gonna try and be strong. But I do know that he gave me that power. He gave me the superpower that day where I'm a shield. I knew I was a protector, but being a shield, I think, and a protector is two things. Like I handled something that I don't think many people could handle, or to be calm in that situation. You know, I don't. I've seen my gruesome things over the years. With football, like I've seen a kid dislocate his hip. I've seen kids like dislocate their arms, and we've had to call 911 and keep them. I've seen my own family members pass out and have to call 911 and all that stuff. So, but that was by far the most gruesome scene. Uh, think about any movie that had a gruesome scene and somebody had to call 911. That's what it was. That's what it was. And I had to live it. It just felt so surreal. It felt like if you've ever been in that situation, and the reason that I'm going live and stuff now too is some of y'all will deal with this. Some of y'all will deal with some real life stuff and it won't seem like it's real. It won't seem like it'll seem like time is going by so slow as I'm holding up his body. Like my uncle, everybody knew my uncle was like 400 pounds. I don't know where I found the strength. I just don't. But I did. To be able to hold him up and then go get the ambulance and try and I mean it was just I don't know where I found it, but I did. But it felt like time was just going so slow. But in the moment, like of you trying to save somebody, like it seemed like it was going. It seemed like it was taking them forever to get there. It could have been 2 minutes, but it felt like 20. It felt like 20. And shout out to those, to the paramedics. You know, it was the first time I've actually ever seen this too. It was the first time that I've seen an all black crew, and the brothers, like, they held it down. Yeah, Ron, I held them. I kept him alive until he got here. I kept him alive. In my in my mind, I just keep hearing him call me. I keep hearing him call me. He never called me for help. Hardly. Like, I could probably count on my hand how many times he called me for help. And in that moment, that was him passing me the shield. You know, I'm gonna get through it though. And again, this ain't for likes or nothing. I ain't putting no thumbnail up or nothing. I just kind of wanted to share with y'all what was going on and share with any family members. Like, I really hate. I do hate this guy. I hate sharing personal information now. I used to, like, during a certain point, I was on Instagram, I was posting everything. I was on Facebook, I was posting everything. But you realize, like, you start pissing people off when you do things, even if you don't mean to do it. You look like you're just showing everybody up, or, you know. And then it got to a point that I realized that it don't matter what you do. Some people are just not going to be satisfied. Some people are. You can't live for those people. You got to live for your family. For one, you gotta live for God. If you do believe in that, if you have faith, I do have faith, right? So it got to a point, and I talk to my little bro all the time, where, you know, I put stuff up. It'd be more thought provoking, or maybe trying to help people. Like, I was trying to help people so much. What's up, Steven? What's up, Dre? I would try to help people, and I would just say stuff. But, you know, sometimes people just don't want to hear things. You know, it just seemed like I was crashing out all the time, or I was always emotional. And I might not have been emotional. It might have just been something that I just put out there so that people would know, or, you know, so I could spark a conversation or stuff. Like, this ain't so much my Cowboys content, guys. Like, on my actual Facebook or my actual Instagram, outside of DMV Fanatic. And it never seemed like people really gravitated. People gravitate towards me, but at the same time, I think people realize, they think that they can't do what I do sometimes. So it can be intimidating. And I get it. Me and Tuck have this conversation all the time. A lot of people out there, they do not like Tuck. They act like they do, but they don't. And I'm able to give him this information all the time because I've dealt with it my whole life. Has nothing to do with anything that you're doing. What you're doing is amazing. The information you're able to pass on is amazing. And if people would just sit and listen, they would realize that you're more for the people than you are about what you're doing, or how many accolades you get, or, you know, like, sometimes when you're successful, or when you're a successful like, I'm a winner. I'm just gonna tell y'all that I'm a winner. You know, if I put my mind to something, more than likely I'm going to do it. Or if I don't do it, I'm going to learn from that. I'm going to learn from that moment, and then I'm going to be able to do it. Tuck is that same way. Cut from the same cloth. Tuck is that same way. Except Tuck is a little bit more flamboyant. Tuck was a real rapper. Like, I just rapped in spare time when I did rap. But Tuck was a rapper. So Tuck got the red carpet, um, through the clubs, and all that stuff. And, you know, I tried to learn how to be flamboyant. And there are some things that I learned how to be flamboyant, right? Like, My bro Mo taught me that. You know, he he taught me how to really like love myself, and I'm thankful for that. You know, thankful for that. You know, for a long time I didn't love myself. I loved everybody else, but I didn't love myself. I could look in the mirror and not really like that guy that was looking back. And part of that is because of what we talked about. Like, I'm so used to succeeding whenever I put my mind to it. I never gave myself a break. Never gave myself a break. Never gave myself grace. So it's like, while it looks like I'm winning at everything, I'm still like figuring things out. I was the firstborn. My mom was the first to have a college degree in my family. I was second, and then had a master's. Rhonda, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate your $50 super chat more than you know. You know, I do, and I just want to kind of let you know, like, I'm not doing this for sympathy, anything like that. I'm not. You know, I'm trying to get I'm trying to get it out. This is my way of journaling. It's my way of journaling. Journaling was successful for me before when I was low, but this time it hasn't been. So I'm trying something different. And thank you for that. Thank you. But yeah, what comes with somebody that is driven is somebody that kills themselves inside. You kill yourself to be that because that's who you are. Because it's who you are. And sometimes that can drive people away. But some people will be inspired by it. The real ones, the people who are meant to get the message, and that's kind of what I want to get at. Like, I stopped being so open. I started being a little bit more closed. I started being detached, and I started only keeping that information for the people that were going to get it or that really cared about me, because eventually they get it. And you guys in this community have become that. So if there's anything, any thoughts that I've had, those thoughts, that energy went away from people who didn't care about it anymore, who would go on deaf ears. And I put everything into this. I put everything, all of that. Tuck, bro, thank you. Thank you so much, bro. And I was just talking about you. I guess I talked you up. I put everything into this. I became the brand. You know, at one point I was trying to separate everything. And there still are times that I do have to separate because, man, I watched the there's a channel dedicated out there, and I'm gonna laugh about this because it's crazy. There's a channel dedicated, and don't click on it when you see this, but there's a channel dedicated to destroying Mark and his family. Everybody probably saw it at some point, but at that point, I have to protect my family. I probably won't protect so much my oldest son because he's in high school and he has aspirations to play football. So I'll probably show him a little bit more on this channel. I was already getting to that, like just moments where I'm training them and working on certain things. Like, I want to share that with y'all. I want to be able to share some of the wisdom that I'm able to pass down to him from that aspect. Because you guys see my film studies, you guys see, um, when I'm just able to talk football. But a lot of what I'm showing you guys, I'm not gonna say I have to dumb it down, but not everybody has been a football lifer. Like me, I think maybe 1 year was a break. I think my freshman year when I was at ODU was probably the only time that I had a break from football. And it's not like a break. because I love football. I love football with all of my heart. With all of my heart. I go to sleep thinking about football. I wake up thinking about football. I wake up thinking about impacting lives. I could have been a pro coach. I could have been a college coach. I think that where I am right now with helping youth, high school, that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be. The reason is the confidence that I've grown in life has come from that sport. It didn't come from basketball. It didn't come from baseball. It didn't come from track. It came from football. I met some of my I met some of my closest people through that sport. And I know that a lot of people out there are afraid of the sport. They're afraid of the contact. They're afraid of what they've heard. They're afraid of CTE. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I probably got CTE. I probably do. My family, they make fun of me all the time. That's why I go box. That's why I go hit things. That's why I go hit the bag. I also love boxing too, by the way. And I haven't really done so much boxing work. I think I'm gonna get back to that at a certain point because this summer's gonna be hot. This summer's gonna be hot, but football is something about being in a huddle. It's something about going through 2 days. It's something about coaches' meetings. It's something about those X's and O's. Like it's like Madden. If you love Madden or if you love college football, if you love Tecmo Bowl or anything like that, where you get to control things and you get to you call a play and you're able to carry it out. The only difference is, what's up? What's up, Chris? What's up, bro? CB, how you doing, bro? We gotta do some work, man. Draft's coming up. We gotta do some work. I don't know that if I'm gonna do any more players as far as like videos or shorts and stuff like that because we got to deal with so much stuff at the house because this was my uncle's home house. You know, everybody's coming here, so I don't know when I'm gonna be able to sit and do content. I'm probably gonna be able to go live and talk about certain things like we're doing right now, but like actual sit down, like I like to take my time. If you guys have watched any of my videos, you guys can see that I put a lot of detail, a lot of effort. Like it's like chef's kiss, man. Like that's my this is my outlet. This is my outlet. So when I do something here, I'm not gonna half-ass it. I'm not gonna half-ass it for the people. I want you guys to I want you guys to feel good when you leave this channel. Like it might not always be something good that I'm talking about. It might not. It might. A lot of the time, it's the truth. I know a lot of people been running from the truth this off season. A lot of people been running from the truth. I'm gonna tell you the truth. If something stinks, it stinks, right? If I feel like we ain't doing what we need to be doing, I'm gonna say that. That's what makes me a great coach. That's what makes me a great coach. Because I'm gonna tell you, yo, you might have like that result might have been cool. And it's actually crazy how that works. The result might have been cool, but that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like, do it again. Do it again. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, no. My little bro Dev says this, and I'm now adopting this because I actually believe it, and I think that I've been practicing this. But you're not really good at something unless you can do it 3 times in a row. A lot of people can fall into luck of a result. And actually, if you guys have ever seen, like I have this them hat, right? I think that I'm going to actually probably start my merch site again and go away from so much of the t-shirts, but I might just go to the hats. and I have a hat that says them. So them has a great meaning. For my youth team, I needed something that was gonna hold us together, right? Shout out to my guy TC, who is my son's best friend. And we went to a camp. So that means the habits elevate me, right? So for me, that means we're only going to practice good habits. We're only like the basics. We're going to master the basics, right? Anything in life, anything you want to learn, master the basics. The basics are going to carry you no matter what level you're at, right? But how do you master basics? You master basics by your habits. Your habits are going to help you master any basics of anything that you have. So when I tell you that, so I got a hat over there, but I can't get up and go get it because I'm sitting here talking to y'all. But my whole team wore them. We had Under Armour thems, we had hoodies, we got hats, we got all that, right? So when I would pop out to Oakton and I would coach, and I would have the them hat on, that's what it means. The habits elevate me. And so TC, this is how we came up with it. We were at a camp. My son and TC were at this camp at Bishop Ireton. So TC is over at Bishop Ireton. Y'all catch a football game, go watch TC play. Love him to death. Love his father. His father has become one of my closest friends. I talked to 2 people that day. 3 people actually. I was supposed to do a show with Lou Takes. I had to cancel with Lou because of what was going on. So on the way to the hospital, I talked to 3 people. Alan, I talked to Alan, who's TC's father, and my little bro Dev, and just told him like I tried to save him. I did the best I could. You know what I'm saying? I texted them, and it's real cryptic, and they probably like, what is he talking about? You know, but they know now. And I told Lou I couldn't do the show because it was an emergency, and I didn't know that my uncle wasn't coming home. I didn't know. Um, I thought he was coming home, but I knew we'd be in the hospital because it was a lot. I knew he wasn't coming home, like that night at least. I thought he would be home by now though, but yeah, him came from the camp where TC came in there. I don't know if he had a headband on. I think he had like the Trevor. I don't know if he had the Trevor Lawrence headband on. He had these big glasses on. Like it was before. I think it was right around the time Dion was wearing his glasses and stuff. But TC had these glasses on, right? Walks in, struts in there. Now, TC is like one of the most uncoordinated people in life. One of the most uncoordinated. But his confidence, the confidence on that kid, the heart on that kid. He talks some of the best trash of anybody. If he's whooping you in 2K, if he's whooping you in Madden, he's going to make you want to throw the control. Like, that's his superpower. His superpower, he's like Billy Hole. White man can't jump. That is TC. Like, when he's in the zone, that's TC. So, he pulls up, and I see him with all this drip on. I'm like, yo, who are you supposed to be? Like, who you think you are? Just one word. What y'all think he said? This was before everybody was saying it. This was before it became like this viral sensation. TC said him. Who you think you are? Like, who come in here strolling like who you think you are? He said him. Period. And so from then on, I was like, I gotta put that on a shirt. That day, I started going in the lab because Tuck had showed me how to, make shirts and stuff like that. So this was my first project. I ain't had like this hat right here. This is mine right here, King Me. Like For the most part, I try and wear my own stuff. I wear my stuff. I wear my brother Mo's Genuine Plus stuff. I still wear it. And then I'll Tuck got a shirt. I still got to get one from Rome. But I only wear like people that I support for the most part, like their gear or whatever, right? So when he said him, I went home. I started doing him. I started looking on Google to see who he done. So many people were doing that. I was just like, nah. But I need to come up with an acronym, right? Because when we coach this team, we're gonna need a mantra. We're gonna need something that's gonna carry us. That's gonna carry our whys, right? So if any of y'all ever start a team, or if any of y'all are coaching, or have any organization, I promise y'all, this right here will carry your team. It will carry everybody, and it will create camaraderie. Create a mantra that everybody can get behind. So I started trying to figure out what I can say for him, like what him could mean. But I was like, nah, I want it to be a team. I don't want him, I want them. And so from then on, I started playing with things, and then the habits elevate me came about. So if you ever see me with them on, that's what that means. Because that's how I carry my life. I carry my life through the basics. You're never too big for the basics of of anything. You know what I'm saying? And with football, the basics that I teach, when I do have a team, you got to be able to block, you got to be able to tackle, and you got to be able to have ball security, football security. No diddy. Anything in life, you got to master the basics, but your habits are going to take you there. So your habits have to be good ones. They have to be good ones. You know what I'm saying? Not no bad habits. We don't practice bad habits. So if there's bad habits, or you see somebody that has bad habits, you gotta tell them. You have to tell them, because they might not know. They might look, and they might be just focused on the results. If you just focused on the results, and I needed to hear myself say this, if you just focus on the results of things, you're gonna fail more than you win. You're gonna fail more than you win. And I'm a basketball player, so the one thing I'll tell you about being a shooter is that you gotta see the ball go in the net a couple times before you can really get back to what you need to get to, right? So it means like you shooting a whole bunch of threes, right? It might be bad shots, low percentage shots. You got to get to the cup. You got to get to the free throw line. You got to get you a couple easy shots. You got to see the ball go through the rim a couple times before you can get right. And I tell us, so my son's having a problem catching right now. He's getting better at it, but I know that there's an anxiety with it. There's an anxiety with it because he can catch. He has really good hands. He has really strong hands. He has big hands. He has big mitts like his pops, right? But he didn't play baseball. I played baseball, so my eye-hand coordination is crazy. So that's one of the things that you'll see will will do once you see me start training him. But I tell him this story all the time. My basketball coach can tell you, Coach Bentley can tell you, Coach Willis can tell you. A couple of my teammates could probably tell you. I had to see an air ball before I started making anything. My first shot off the bench would be an air ball. Almost every time. If I hit a shot first, more than likely, I probably wasn't going to be nothing the rest of the time. I was a shooter, guys. I was a scorer. But once I got that air ball, that was the worst thing that could have happened. So now everything that happens after that, I'm good. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And it could have felt good coming off. It could have felt good coming off my hands. Could have done everything that I was supposed to do, like as far as shooting, squaring up, you know, getting the right height on my jump. And that air ball was on its way. You know what I'm saying? That air ball was on its way. It was inevitable, but I had to do it. I had the air ball every time. Or CB could tell you, bro. CB could tell you that this is why I had to, when we did Bull in the Run, Bull in the Ring in college, when Coach Root would have the running backs do Bull in the Ring, I would have my best sessions of pass protection. Because everybody knew pass protection was my worst. I sucked at pass protection. I hated it. I got better at it as time went, but I was 180, 190 pounds sometimes, and you got to block a 240. Because this was the time before linebackers stopped being hybrids. Now you got linebackers that are like 200, 220 and stuff like that, but they was 240 pounds at the time. I'm 180, 190, and in practice you can't cut. So if you got to step in that A gap and you got a 240-pound dude coming at you full speed, if you wait, your ass is grass. But you gotta get him in the A gap. You got. That's why I'm able to teach it better, because I sucked at it so much. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all on this channel. I'm gonna tell y'all what I was good at, and I'm gonna tell you what I was bad at. Straight up. If CB's out there, he'll tell you, bro. I was I was lean, and they had me trying to block Lockett every day. They had me blocking this all. One time they did this slide protection. They did a slide protection. I don't know what the hell they was thinking. I don't know what they was thinking. And my boy Rudy was coming off the edge. Rudy was All-American, and he was a defensive end. They did a slide protection. It's me and Rudy. Thank God for Rudy. Rudy didn't run my ass over. Rudy just hit me with a crazy move and made me look bad, and quarterback got sacked or whatever, right? And they chewing me out. And I say to coach, this is when I knew I was going to be a coach. I said, Coach, this is on y'all. This is an All-American. What y'all expect me to do? But sometimes, look, but to go back to my original point, like your habits, right? My habits could have been good. Your habits could be good, but sometimes the ball's not going to go through the rim. Sometimes you ain't going to be able to pick up that All-American when they do slide protection and you got the edge. You could do everything right, and damn, I needed to hear that. Damn. I needed that for myself, bro. I needed to hear that. You can do everything right, and sometimes the ball don't go through the rim. Sometimes it don't. And that was me on Friday. I did everything right. And Unc still ain't make it. But that don't mean that I can't live life. You know. I told y'all it's been like this on and off, man. Like sometimes I'll cry, sometimes I'll laugh. Like it is what it is. But the habits is what's gonna carry you through. It's the habits. So y'all make sure if y'all don't walk away with anything else, you make sure that your habits that you carry on with your habits. And I'm trying not to bust out crying again, y'all. I'm trying not to. But yeah, if y'all don't carry nothing else, it's that. Your habits are gonna build the foundation. Like Rome said, they're gonna build your basics. And that's what's gonna carry you through. That's what's gonna help you stay on your path, like Stephen White said. So y'all remember that, and y'all pass that on to your kids. You pass that on to anybody. That's why I coach the youth level. I can pass that on to grown men, and that'd be fine. But I think that if I can get them younger, like the one thing that I say to myself all the time is that if I had me when I was 15, 14, 15, I wouldn't have went all the way until 35 years old before I could have confidence in myself, before I could feel good about myself, before I could really feel good about myself to really give you guys the type of content, the type of voice that you guys need to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can only imagine at 15 years old how high I could have went, how far I could have went. And I consider myself an overachiever, guys. You know, I could go back to school for like 2 years and be a doctor and something. You know what I'm saying? My bachelor's degree was in mechanical engineering. I knew about a year in I didn't want to do that, but I ain't no quitter. I ain't no bitch. So I knew that I had to finish what I started. I had to finish it. It took the right people around me at Howard University. I love that place. Y'all ever see Howard on? Like, I'm never not going to rep Howard because it made me the man that I am. It made me the man that I am. You know what I'm saying? And actually, if my son goes to Howard, follows the footsteps, that's why I met his mom. That's why I met my wife. We met at Howard. We met at Howard, and I think everything was meant to be. You know, without Howard University, and anybody that went to Howard University, you find that a lot of us are successful. A lot of us are close knit. A lot of us are like this. Some of the greatest football minds that I know, we didn't have great success. We probably was gonna win the MEAC. We probably were gonna win the MEAC my last year that I played, but then they changed coaches, and Coach Bailey he was in over his head as a head coach. Good guy, staff was good guys, loved them. You know, although it wasn't a great experience for me. I mean, I ended up getting cut and then coming back, but then that's a story for another day. And then I ended up letting go because my son was on the way. Drew said, DMV, do you play in the 37 and up football league? Hell nah, bro. Hell nah. I won't even play flag football no more. When I tore my Achilles playing flag football, I said I'm going to hang it up. And it's the youngins. It's for the youngins. I'm going to teach the youngins how to do it. I'll go and work out and stuff like that. And, you know, I take my son to the weight room. We'll probably go to Goals today. And we'll probably lift. Because he needs to lift. He got put on weight. My son's going to be a bell cow one day. So he got to put that weight on. You know. He got to put the weight on. And I'm there to help guide him. And he's getting strong, too. He's 15, about 135 pounds. And he deadlifted 225 the other day. And, I mean, did it with ease, though. Like, he's getting really strong. He's got to put on weight. We got to get him up to about 145-ish. Maybe we can get him to 150 because we got him from 121 to 135 in, like, a month. So, yeah. Like, he said 37 and up. Hell nah. Hell nah. More power to them, though. Like, I ain't gonna knock nobody. I ain't gonna knock nobody for playing in no 37 and up league. I thought that was a joke. Is that a joke? Like, or is that a real thing? You know what I'm saying? I do know that there are semi-pro leagues, stuff like that. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, though. I would kill a 37 and up league. I would fry. I'm still pretty good, y'all. I'm still real good. Like, I was working out this fall, and I'm heavier than I've ever been. I got a gut compared to what I'm usually having. Like, I probably need like a good month so I can get rid of this damn gut. I think it's inevitable though. My grandfather had it. My dad has it. Like, it don't matter how much I work out. Like, I gotta cut out some things. Like, I'm drinking mushroom coffee right now. But I was working out. I was showing them how to work, my guys, and I was catching passes for the quarterback. For our quarterback, Jack Martin, at Oakton High School. Y'all Put them on the map. Oakland High School is going to be back. Love those guys. Love those kids. It was one of the toughest things that I had to do this year was leaving them. You know, I had some traumatic stuff happen this whole year. I don't think anybody was more equipped for it than I was. God knows I'm a shield. God knows what I can handle. He also knows what people can't handle. And he knows that I'm going to make the right decisions at the right time. But I was working out, you know, catching swing passes, catching slants, catching fades, all that type of stuff. And God bless him. Timmy. Timmy's going to be a stud, by the way. Timmy's like 15. Timmy's like 6'1". I think he's 180, 190 pounds. Once he gets his confidence there, and I hope that one day he can listen to this, and you know, I'm trying to get him to where he's like that, but I don't think he believes in himself yet. That's why I said I got to be at that level to help these guys find out who they want to be destined to be. So Timmy said to me, he was like, well, "Are you an ex-pro player?" And it felt good to me. It felt good because I'm still like able to do drills real well. My feet are still good. Get a ladder. Like when I'm in the gym working out, like boxing, I was hitting the bag. I've never been in a boxing match in a day in my life. You know what I'm saying? I got good hands. You know what I'm saying? I got good hands. I've been in a couple sessions. I've sparred before and stuff, but I'm training. I'm hitting a heavy bag, and people think that I'm training for something. I work hard when I'm in there. If I'm going to step in between the lines or do something, or if I'm going to work out, I'm going to do it right, and I'm going to do it hard. And we're going to be drenched with sweat. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to burn like 600 to 1,000 calories or whatnot. Like, we might work out 2 hours. Like, people that look at my son, they watch him work out. So go check him out on Instagram too. Like, I've been posting him to my stuff. J.X.Garner. He's small, but he a dog. And we built that from yay high. He's dealing with some confidence issues right now. But once he gets it, I'm telling you. He picked me up the other day. Like, just picked me up yesterday. When he gets it, y'all watch out. He's starting to get it now. He's starting to get it. Y'all watch out. I'm telling you. Because, and right now, I haven't been pushing nothing on him because he's crushed. Him and my uncle were real close. I actually thought my youngest was the favorite, but we finding out all of the passwords and stuff. We find out all the passwords have to do with my oldest son. And so he's crushed. He's been hardly saying anything. He's been sleeping a lot. And so I haven't been pushing nothing. I haven't been pushing nothing with him. My daughter, my middle child, she was crushed when she found out. She was crushed. And one thing that has been hard for me is not being here when they heard the news. Not being here. Not being able to hold them. Not being able to tell them that it was all right. It's kind of weird. They have this protocol, right, where you can't really leave because it wasn't natural causes. Like, to me, I kind of feel like he was 64. So almost everything he could do was going to be attributed to it being a natural cause because he was old. But because of the severity and how it looked, it could be portrayed as he would take his own life or that somebody would do it. Somebody with robbery or something like that. Like, the way that the scene looked, I understood it. I get it. And they held me, my mom, and my dad in this room. And they, like, it was just weird. We got there and they held us in a room. I think it's when they were working on him. Oh my God, Rhonda. Wow. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I don't know that I if shock I don't know that I can even say anything. I don't even know if shock ever hit my brain. I don't know that shock ever hit because I got him alive to the paramedics. He was breathing. He had a fighting chance. He was on the stretcher when they took him out. He was breathing. And when we followed the ambulance, we saw the ambulance stop on the side of the road. So we think that maybe his heart has stopped then. We gave him I gave him a chance. We gave him a chance. My cousin was across the street, and I had to have the ambulance come to the back door, so we didn't lose time. So I don't know the shock ever hit me because I was expecting full recovery. I was expecting him to make it. I didn't have time to be shocked. You know what I'm saying? Like the one the one the one thing about me, and I've always been like this, and I think that I'm wired this way because let's see if y'all can see that guy on that back wall. Y'all see that guy on that back wall, Kobe? I've shared this with Tuck. Yeah, I think that I shared this with him, and I think that he knows what I see. Well, like Kobe, Jordan, Floyd. I ain't blinking when things get tough. I'm not blinking because I prepared my mind for so many things that when things get tough, we gonna figure it out. But I'm never going into something without winning, without trying to win, without giving my best chance to win something. Just not gonna do it. Kobe system, whatever you want to call it. I'm competitive in that way. Sometimes it's something that it might make you seem like you're never happy, but you always looking for the next rep. You always looking for the next match. You always looking forward to the next challenge. So I wasn't expecting him not to make it because I was clutch. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you can be clutch and it just don't go your way. It don't mean that you don't stop trying though. Thank you, Am. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. It don't mean that you stop trying. It just means it wasn't your day. And it be like that sometimes. Okay, CFO. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna read that, bro, because I didn't even know that. CFO, the mindset is called Relentless. Great book to read by Tim Grover. So that was Michael Jordan's trainer, right? I think Tim Grover was. That's how much I know about Michael Jordan. Look, I didn't even know that that was a thing. I just know that there's certain people that you look in their eyes and they just fearless. It don't matter what the hell happened. And let me tell y'all something. Michael Jordan, it breaks me when I see it. If you ever watched The Last Dance, when they won the championship on Father's Day, and he went in that locker room, and he just bawled his eyes out, cried on the ground. I still watch it and get emotional. I still get emotional because my dad is like my best friend. So if something happened to my dad, I'm gonna give everything I have to make sure he's proud. I still do that while he's alive. I still do that. I'm still trying to make him proud. To let him know he raised a real one. To let him know he raised a real one. Because he was a real one. I've been blessed to have some men in my life that were real ones, that were real men, that showed me how to be a real man, how to be a real husband, how to be a real father. Michael had that. What's up, Irv? Hey man, I talked about you earlier, bro. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. Um, my so when I watch Mike on the ground crying, I don't think people really understand that it wasn't just for his dad. Yeah, he was sad. He was sad. He gave it everything he had. And not only did he give it everything he had, but he was able to triumph. But in those moments, I think that he realized that every time he had won something, every time he had overcame an obstacle, every time he had done something like that, his father in the physical was there. And I do believe that his dad was there. But I watched him be heartbroken. So a lot of people think that because you do win something, you overcome something, that it don't come with sacrifice or it don't come with losing something. I think it was a driving force then. I think it was a driving force for Mike. But then he realized that that driving force wasn't there. And I think that's why he had to let it out. Because I think he put so much into it that I don't think he actually let it out. I think that was Mike getting all of his grieving out at that moment. So that's what I'm going to do. Because I watched Mike do it. When I think about Kobe, I cried for Kobe for 6 months when he died. It wasn't just the basketball player that I lost. I lost somebody that showed me how to navigate through adversity. I lost somebody that showed me a mindset, showed me how to get through things when they tough, how to not bat an eye, not to blink. You know, I lost somebody like that. And then to know that in the end, he was holding his daughter. He was shielding her. Like that word is coming up again, shield. That broke my heart because I just thought about me and my daughter. Thought about me and my kids. I would do the same thing. I would do the same thing. I would give them a fighting chance if I didn't have one. You know what I'm saying? So, woosah. Like, yeah. Crazy, man. Crazy how life works. And crazy how, I don't know if this is considered therapy. You know, going through the community and talking to y'all. But maybe I'll go live a little later. But I had to get something off my chest this morning. Every once in a while, I feel like God tugs at me for me to do something. I didn't know what this was going to be like. I didn't know how I was going to start. As a matter of fact, in the very beginning, I was I was quiet. I didn't know what to say. I didn't plan this out. I didn't write anything. I just knew that I had to be able to talk to you guys, talk to people that care, talk to the community. Because, like I said, everything that I have that's not with my family, that's not with the kids that I coach, that's, and first, like God, you guys are going to get not necessarily everything that's left, but you're going to get a great product, and it's going to come from the love that I feel over there. You know, it's going to come from that. So you're not getting what's left, and it's not at all. I'm constantly thinking about how I can make things better, how I can interact with people, interact with the audience, interact with my friends, interact with my family. And one day I'm going to pass. And one day my kids or the people, the community, everybody, y'all are going to see my words. And it will pass on. Like all of this stuff is going to live on way past my expiration date. You know? And I think that before I even knew I was a content creator, before I knew that I was even doing this stuff, I just knew I wanted to interact with people. I wanted to be, for some odd reason, I was moved to do it. I don't know why, but sometimes when God picks you up and tells you to take some steps, go in a certain direction, you just have to do it. It's called faith, not knowing what the outcome is, but you do it anyway. And so that's really what this channel is. Guy like Mark Holmes. Mark is the one who really pushed me to do that. Mark is God sent, y'all. So y'all make sure y'all show Mark some love. Because without Mark, I don't do this. But I didn't know what I was getting into, for real. I didn't know what I was getting into. And it's not easy. We almost 18,000 subs in. It's not easy doing this. I know people who have tried and they have failed the moment that their video did 2 views. You know what I'm saying? Like, the moment that their video did like 2 views, they quit. But I knew that I have a bigger calling. I have a bigger message. And I wouldn't say that I wouldn't lie to y'all and say that I wasn't going that there weren't a few times that I was going to quit. I did quit at one point when YouTube didn't monetize me cuz I thought it was weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, why me? I got all these subs, I got all these watch hours. Why can't I be monetized? I remember that. Vach told me to get my ass back on and make some content. Vach, yeah, brother Vach told me, hey bro, get your ass back out here in your channel and do some, get back to making content. I remember that. I was on a live. I was on his live in the comments and he told me that. Sometimes also too, God is going to give you messages, and sometimes it might not be the messenger that you want to hear it from, but it's God talking to you. It is the Lord talking to you. And if you know it's right and you don't like the messenger, you worried about the wrong shit. Sorry, but I know I'm saying God and that in the same senses, but that's just who I am. I'm that's who I am. I can't hide from who I am because it might be God talking to me. God knows who I am. My family knows who I am. The people that love me know who I am. And that part of me, I don't think anybody would ever change. But yeah, like, appreciate y'all, man. I'm gonna try and do some work today. I'm gonna try and do some work, like actual work. Like, I have my computer set up. I was supposed to start earlier, but I got to rapping with y'all and just kind of getting it out. But appreciate y'all, man. Love y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your condolences. I've read every comment up here. I've read every comment on Facebook. I haven't done anything on Twitter. I haven't said anything about it on Twitter, on Instagram, because I didn't know if I was ready to. Or, quite frankly, like, sometimes when you put stuff out, and I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't worried about what people thought sometimes, but I am. And I don't want people to think that I'm putting things out because I want sympathy, or that I like it, or that I want likes, or that I want people to donate super chats and all that type of stuff. Like, I want people to think that. But I do know that my uncle was very private. But for the people that knew him, they knew that he was very lovable. He was very charismatic. If he could tell you a corny joke that was going to make you laugh, or he was going to do it. He didn't have the socials. He didn't have hardly anybody's phone number, but when you saw him, you knew him and you talked to him. So this is my way of getting that out. I got to be the one to do that for him. Although I hate the spotlight of this being on me and then me being the one that had to deal with the traumatic situation. But I know somebody got to do it. Somebody got to be able to handle it where other people can't. I got to be strong for my mom. I got to be strong for my dad. I got to be strong for my sister. I got to be strong for my kids. Got to be strong for my wife. Got to be strong for everybody. That don't mean that I'm not going to break down, but by strength, that just means putting one foot in front of the other and just keeping it moving, just like my uncle would. Straight off of Dallas, straight off of, you know, you got to be able to handle things no matter the circumstance. Take things in stride. Yeah, Irv said, got to be strong for me. Thank you for that, bro. You're right. Because I didn't even think about that. Keep saying, bro, put everybody else's feelings and stuff before mine, but I do have to be strong. I do got to be strong for me. Thank you for that. I need that. Never too old to be learning. So, appreciate y'all, though, man. I'm out. I love y'all. Peace.